what we have is Javi had a personalized horoscope from me, and this was a couple of months back, and she also had more recently, a reading done with an astrologer, and the two readings were very different. And so she contacted me and said, I'm really worried. I had this reading done and it sounded so horrible. It was so doomy gloomy and all this kind of stuff. And my heart really went out to her, and this is a chart that I know as well, and especially because I had read her. And I often say in these personalized horoscopes, and in even the horoscopes that I do for you here, I often say, I'm always going to be honest with you, always. I do believe that everything is moving us towards greater love and greater wisdom. Even the stuff that's hard, even the stuff that's challenging. But there's a way to see the stuff that's challenging in a way that is part of moving you towards greater love and greater wisdom. And in my humble belief, if a reading doesn't do that, if a reading just leaves a person filled with fear, that's not very good. You can say the same thing and empower a person, or find different words to say the same thing, but not empower that person at all. Make that person even feel like a bit of a victim. And I think that that's really unfortunate. But ultimately, astrology is really, really big. Astrology is big. And you can't have astrology without the astrologer. I'm very fond of saying that as well. And ultimately, we are, as astrologers, interpreting symbols. So there are these celestial events, symbolic events that take place, and we are giving them language. We are translating them into words, so that we can ultimately, depending on the astrologer, we each have our own motivation for doing that as well. And so whatever you are as an astrologer, whatever you believe about the world, whatever you believe about God as well, about love, about the energy of creation. So some people call it God or love or creation or creator or whatever. I think of it ultimately as the energy of love and wisdom that we're all sort of more fully embodying over the course of our lives, and as a collective as well, we're more and more fully embodying this energy. Whatever you understand about that energy is going to determine how you view the sky. And so if you view life and the world and the sky as a place that is cruel and mean, then that's how you're going to interpret the symbols in the sky. I do think that ultimately, whoever you are as a person who utilizes astrology as part of your path, if you're not an astrologer, it is whoever you are that is going to determine what astrologers you're attracted to. So that's why oftentimes I like to talk to you guys about things like spiritual growth, emotional growth. I like to talk about things like raising consciousness as well, because that is who I am. That's part of my sacred lessons at this point, and all I can really share is myself and my interpretations. And so the fact that you are here right now says that on some level, that's also what you're interested in. You're also open to raising consciousness and taking greater responsibility for your life and your happiness, and doing what you can to move your life towards greater love and greater wisdom. And so when those moments happen, and I've had them happen too, I'm not just an astrologer, I'm also a client. And if you want to meet people who've had a lot of astrology readings, talk to astrologers. It's part of the fun of being an astrologer as well. But ever since I was a child, really, I've had these experiences of getting readings, and some people, they know how to communicate in a way that has left me feeling empowered, even if the news wasn't great. I've had readings where at the time I thought this person was off their rocker, didn't make any sense, but years later I realized how right they were, what they were trying to communicate to me. And I've also had readings where people have communicated in ways that really were not empowering to me at all. And I think that what it comes down to in those moments is really deciding who you are. Because even the foundational text to Western astrology, is Tetrabiblos by Ptolemy. And in this text, he says that our family and our cultural environment is equally responsible for who we become as the planets. So right from the beginning, Western astrology, the foundational text to Western astrology, says that we participate in our lives and in our fate and in the unfolding of our lives as well. Ultimately, there are a lot of things that you can't control, that's true, but of the things that you can control, one of those is deciding how you are going to participate, and if you are going to believe that the universe is one that is kind, that is loving, that is wise, and one that wants you to experience greater love as well. And if you make that decision that you know who you are, you trust your instincts, you trust your intuition, and always, above and beyond what anyone else tells you, any astrologer tells you, trust your instincts. If you decide that that's who you are and that's what you're going to strengthen, then that will be your reality. And based on whatever you decide is your reality will determine how you participate in the unfolding of your sky. If you get a reading that doesn't resonate with you, that doesn't empower you, then one way that you can empower yourself is to decide what you are going to emphasize, where it is that you are going to strengthen yourself and your path. And from that, and setting the clear intention that your life is about moving towards greater love, greater wisdom, and that includes happiness as well, you will certainly make it so. I so appreciate your interactions. Thank you so much, everybody out there, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube as well. Truly love interacting with you guys and love your questions. Please do keep them coming. If you have more personal questions where you want me to look at your chart, please consider a personalized horoscope. But again, my hope is that this video right now in some way provides you with an omen that you need to fill your life with hope and inspiration and remind you. And I always say this because really it is my mission. It is my mission in the world to affirm that the universe is wise and loving, and everything I do as far as my work goes, everything I do is about affirming that in some small way in the universe. And I'm just so grateful that you are here, a part of that, and resonating with that as well.